What's up, ZERT Nation? Mr. X here. We're out here at beautiful Pro Gun Club right outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. And what we're going to do today is go over what I call a rhythm drill. Again, we're using the do-all target. And the reason why I like to do this, especially for students, it gives you guys a basic understanding of, depending on your range to the target, how fast you can rapidly engage that target and still hit it. So I like to do this at different distances to the target, and depending on the distance to the target really dictates the speed that I'm engaging that target with rhythm or keeping a certain cadence. And whenever I do this drill in a class, I'm always saying my number or keeping my cadence. I'm saying this out loud, and it's extremely important to do that just so if I'm engaging a target out in the real world, of course, I'm not going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, but it lets me know that those students are keeping a cadence or keeping a certain rhythm. So when you do this drill at home, count out loud. Say this stuff out loud. It reconfirms the fact that in a classroom environment that I know you know what you're doing and you're doing it right. Of course, and it reinstitutes that whenever you're doing the drill. So I break it down by the numbers. I actually got this from a fellow instructor and kind of broke it down layman style, because when he does it, he uses a pro timer. Guys, I understand pro timers are expensive, and it's just one more thing that you should buy. But like I said, the stuff is expensive. Not everybody has a pro timer. So right now, I'm at about 5 yards, and this is a good pace for me to hopefully keep every one of those rounds on target. If I don't today, hey, this is real life. We're not editing any of this. If I don't, that just shows me, hey, this is what I got to work on at this distance. So basically, all I do is I use a magic number whenever I shoot these drills for this cadence drill, and that number is 6 shots. Where 6 shots come from, I have no idea, other than the fact that we get so used to putting 2 rounds on target, and the fact of the matter is, in a gunfight, 2 rounds is not going to eliminate that threat. So I realize there's a budget out there. Every time we do a drill, we can't put 10 rounds on target because bullets cost money. 10 rounds on target, by the time you guys do a ZERT class, you're looking at 500, 1,000 round, classes, not to mention the fact that you got to pay for the class, transportation, gas, so on and so on. We don't want to do 10 shots every time we do a drill. I certainly don't want to do 2. So what's between 2 and 10? 6. So 6 is the magic number. I'm counting to 6 every time I do this drill, and it's out loud. You guys should be able to hear me count. The very first thing I do, we want to start working on a cadence. Okay, so my first 6-shot string into this target is going to be a cadence or a rhythm of 1 second. Well, how do I dictate that? How do I get that 6 second? Easy. We all played probably football or some type of sport growing up, where before you went in and sacked that quarterback, you did a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, or some type of cadence. And that's exactly what I do when I count my 6 second interval whenever I gauge this target with 6 rounds, which is my very first cadence whenever I do this drill. So it's going to be a 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, or a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, so on and so on. So you guys should be able to hear me count. And this speed, when I'm working on this cadence, this speed is even a little bit too slow for me. Whenever I engage targets out to 25, out to 50, I can't keep that shot group because I'm actually shaking around. But it gives you a cadence that you can start working on. I want to hear that cadence, that smooth rhythm as you engage the target. So this is what it should sound like, and this is what it should look like. Go ahead and work through my loading sequence. I'm live. Do me a favor, Hutch.
Yes, sir.
Can you grab me that extra magazine that should be in that jacket right there? Thank you. 6 rounds. I already know my round count. Going through this drill, I need 1 more magazine. Appreciate it. So, like I said, 6 rounds on target. This should take me about 6 seconds to put 6 rounds on target. I'm not worried about my speed of draw. I'm not worried about anything except for accurately engaging that target with 6 rounds in 6 seconds. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. Still got some ammo in there. As you can see from my target, is that my standard? No. I've got plenty of time to put 6 rounds on that target. I should have every one of these in the 5 ring. Touching the line does not count. So I got 2 in the 4. Everything's still pretty tight. Still pretty tight. But that's showing me that that canes right there is not the canes that I'm used to shooting. As soon as that gun comes down and recoils back down to the center of that target, I should be pulling the trigger. So that cadence for me is a little bit too slow. No big deal. The next time we should be working on, the next time I'm going to work on is a half a second cadence. That should be 6 rounds in about 3 seconds. Well, how do I do that? I'm not going to say 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Hopefully you guys heard me count as I'm going through that drill. If not, we got to pump up that volume a little bit. Okay, instead of going 1,000, 2,000, I'm basically going to go with a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. All right, now I understand that's a little bit over 3 seconds. It's no big deal. We're just trying to figure out our cadence. It doesn't matter if this is 1 second, a half a second, a quarter of a second, an eighth of a second, and that's what we're going to shoot. All we're trying to do is progressively get faster and keep a cadence. That's what's important. As soon as your cadence is off, if you start shooting and then there's a gap, as you're shooting, that's when your gun's going to start driving down, start going up. You're trying to keep a cadence to keep that shot group as tight as possible. Guys, I'm going to shoot on the same target. Every time you shoot a different speed or a different cadence, keep engaging that same target because you want to see how those shot groups look, whether it's getting larger or smaller in relation to each other. So this cadence is going to be about a half a second. My cadence, as you're going to hear it, is going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. I got 6 rounds of my magazine, and I'm going to go ahead and go on hot. And 2 and 3 and 5 and 6. Now guys, that's a little bit tighter. I kept everything right there in the 5 ring. The only 2 shots that were out were the 2 previous shots from my 1 second interval, half a second interval. I've got everything right there. I know I can engage that target in a stressful environment and keep that target, that shot group looking like this. Now here's the deal. As soon as you induce stress, what's going to happen? That shot group's going to get bigger. It is. It's common sense. It doesn't matter what the environment is. Start inducing stress, I'm going to shake around. But how much bigger do you think that's going to get? You think I can still keep on paper at that distance with a half a second interval? I really hope so. Now I'm going to focus on a quarter of a second interval. Instead of putting that and in there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, I'm just taking that and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should still be able to keep every one of those shots in the center of the paper. Guess what? We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and check my magazine, make sure I still got 6 rounds in the chamber, or 6 rounds in my magazine. Snuck a little press check in there. Why? Press checks are free. And I'm going to go ahead and put 6 rounds into that target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully you can hear me over the sound of the gun going off. Range is hot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got a little sloppy there with 2 rounds. Put 1 catching the edge of the 3 ring and 1 right up there beside the 1 in the 4. Other than that, every one of them still right there in the black. Got a little sloppy. It's been a while since I've done this drill. It is what it is. Hey, that's why we're out here training. All right? That was a quarter of a second. Next iteration is going to be an eighth of a second. How do I know it's an eighth of a second? I don't, just like every one of the other times. But my cadence for an eighth of a second split is how fast. Guess what? It's as fast as I can pull that trigger. Now, as I pull that trigger, I want to focus on not getting trigger freeze. I want to focus on not looking down my sights to the point where oh shoot, I got one out, I got to slow down. I'm pulling that trigger as fast as I can for 6 shots, keeping the same cadence. I have to have enough confidence in the fact that with the good grip, with the good stance, knowing how far I have to lean into my gun or lean back, wherever my body position is, I have to trust the fact that as I'm pulling that trigger, that gun is recoiling down to the same place every single time. Do you think I'm getting a good sight picture after every shot whenever I pull the trigger on 1/8 of a second, making sure every one of those rounds is going there? No, I'm not getting a good sight picture. But I have to have the faith in my fundamentals of marksmanship to know that every one of those shots is driving back down into that target every single time. I'm going to go ahead and do a tac mag reload, put a fresh mag in, and 6 rounds on target, and you're going to hear me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hopefully that's how fast I can pull the trigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, you guys ready? Range is hot. Six rounds. Guess what? You might not be able to see it from here. I got 1 round out here and the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 ring. Every one of those was tight. 1 round out there, nothing else in the cardboard. Guess what, man? At a certain distance, if I would have shot that fast at 15 and 25, where would that have round gone? Who knows? Could have hit an innocent bystander. Dude, that thing could have traveled no telling where. You know, at this distance, yeah, it would have went into that target, but add a little bit of stress. That's showing me that cadence, that speed, where I'm at right now, I should not be shooting that fast at a target this size. Because no telling where that round could have went. Who cares about these other 5? It doesn't matter. I need to slow down my cadence at that speed. My speed engaging that target, 1/4 of a second all day. I've got control over my firearm. When I start pulling the trigger right there, what did I do to that round? Take a guess. Pretty good chance I jerked that trigger, which is completely unacceptable. But hey, that's why we're out here training. That's why we're out here shooting. That's why we're out here getting better. Guys, this is a great drill to do at different distances. Whenever you do this drill, save this target right here. Take it off, save it, mark the date, mark the score, mark what you did wrong, collect information, mark the distance. So you know at this distance, so next time you come out to the range, you set up the same distance, do the exact drill, and you try to work on this shot group. We're trying to get faster. We're trying to get more accurate. Plain and simple, we're trying to get better than we were yesterday. That's all I got. If you got any comments, leave them in the comments below. And Mr. X out.
Are you a second-year ZERT member? Are you ready to carry the coin? When you renew your 3rd-year membership, you get the official ZERT Year 3 Challenge coin. In addition to the coin, you will receive the ZERT 3rd Year t-shirt, the 5-inch ZERT 3rd Year patch, ZERT Year 3 membership certificate, and of course, 10 more ZERT recruitment cards. In addition to the 3rd Year membership pack, you will continue to receive the following privileges: access to the ZERT forum and online training videos, access to training events with Special Forces instructors, training cost is additional, members only newsletter, admittance to over 40 private squadron Facebook groups, get to know the members in your area, Facebook admin approval required, exclusive members only events, contests and giveaways, access to discounts from ZERT approved vendors, 15% off all ZERT merchandise year round. Privileges are just that and can be revoked at any time. Management reserves all rights. Facebook rules and regulations apply. Don't get coined at a ZERT event without your Year 3 coin. ZERT, not just an organization, it's a lifestyle. ZERTNation.com